pain, sickness, disability, suffering of every kind, betrayal, brokenheartedness, cancer, all of it eradicated, gone. And here's what's so cool. What does it say? He will wipe away every tear from your eye. What will heaven be like? Oh, that's a great question. Glad you asked. Let's look at question 2. By the time I got to this point right in my sermon, I need a break. Some of you are like, I need a break. Let's come back next week. But just stay with me. The Texans don't play till tomorrow night. They're playing the Cowboys. Lance is a big Cowboy fan. Mr. Aldridge. Can I tell this joke? Don't take your daughter from my son because I'm going to tell this joke. Did y'all hear that Dak Prescott, he was so mad the other day, and he was throwing his helmet, and it too was intercepted. All right, so anyway, I took a break. I took a break from sermon prep. That's a good one. Y'all can tell that all day long. There's way too many Dallas Cowboy fans in Houston, so just have fun, have at it, right? So anyway, I took a break and I went around the office, just making a lap around the office. I'm like, hey, what's heaven going to be like? Lisa Hoffmeister, Lisa spoke up. She goes, oh, I know what heaven's going to be like. She goes, there will be no automobiles and you won't have to clean up after your pets. I'm like, okay, low bar for heaven right there. Fergie Mitra, Fergie's in our business office. I'm like, hey, what's heaven going to be like? He goes, the food's going to be amazing. Can you imagine the barbecue? I'm like, oh, that's good. Antonetta Russo, she heard me walking around. Antonetta's in my office. She works with me alongside me every day. She goes, Reese's Pieces. She knows how much I like Reese's candy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to have to get on that scale anymore. I mean, transformed body, let's go. And then I went and I popped in on Laurel Carlton. Laurel has a son named Richard who has a lot of special needs, special family. He's got a lot of special needs, and he has to communicate with an iPad. And Laurel said to me, here's what she said. She said, I'll get to hear Richard's voice. That's the first thing I'll think about. That's the first thing I think about when you ask me, what will heaven be like? Perfect bodies, fully functional, fully alive, fully transfigured, transformed bodies, continuously enjoying what God has given to us, and all of us long for that. We all have that thing, like Laurel answered, that we would say, this is really what's going to be amazing about the new heaven and a new earth where all things are made new. N.T. Wright says, humans need to be transformed because the way they are at the moment is inappropriate for God's new world. It's not like someone wearing scruffy jeans at a smart lunch. It's like somebody who is, so to speak, made of the wrong stuff. At the moment, we are people made of corruptible, decaying material. We need to be transformed into non-corruptible, undecaying material so that we become people over whom death has no more control. Paul Williamson says, we will have a body suitable for our new environment. So let me give you 5 things real quick. What's heaven going to be like? We're talking about the eternal state. And number 1, we're going to see a physical recreation. A physical recreation. Just like our bodies will need to be transformed, so will creation need to be transformed. Randy Alcorn in his book Heaven says, the earthly beauty we now see won't be lost. We won't trade earth's beauty for heaven's, but retain earth's beauty and gain even deeper beauty. As we live forever with the people of the world redeemed, we enjoy forever the beauties of this world redeemed. Number 2, what will heaven be like? A new day or a new order. The old order is gone. Notice this in verse 4 of Revelation 21. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. So pain, sickness, disability, suffering of every kind, betrayal, brokenheartedness, cancer, all of it eradicated, gone. No longer does it exist. It is removed. And here's what's so cool. What does it say? He will wipe away every tear from your eyes. He's going to come to you and be, hey, I so love you. Come here. Just start wiping your tears. For the old order of things is gone. Number 3, work. Some of you are like, Pastor, you just lost me. Like I was excited about going to heaven until you said work is going to be there. Well, the curse of work will be removed. And instead, we are going to get to create. And our work will be fun. Notice this, Revelation 22, verse 3. This is the NIV. I like how it translated. No longer will there be any curse. The throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his servants will serve him. The ESV says, and his servants will worship him. Our serving of God will be worship of God. That ought to be how your work is now, by the way, where the work you do is a service unto God. And what did Paul say to us? Let your work be unto the Lord. So our serving of God will be worship unto God. So we'll get to work in heaven. I don't know what it's going to be like. We'll get to work. It just won't have the curse. It won't have the frustration. It won't have the curse of work happened in Genesis 3 as part of the consequence of the fall. But this new heaven, this new earth, this redeemed, new eternal state, the work's going to be fun. Number 4, family. One big family. One big happy family. Some of you are like, I need that. Alcorn puts it best. He says, heaven won't be without families, but we will be one big family, in which all family members and friends, where all family members are friends and all friends are family members. Gary Habermas is a Christian scholar who has done extensive work in the near-death experience. And he chronicles this boy Eddie's near-death experience. Eddie was 9 when he had this fever. Eddie is much older now, and this is before cell phones. Eddie had this 36-hour fever, and he was unconscious for a time. And when he awakened, as the fever began to break, he told the doctors, the nurses, his dad, and others, I went to heaven, and I saw my grandfather, and I saw my grandmother, and I saw my uncle. And then he said, I saw my sister. And his dad got frustrated. No, I talked to your sister 2 days ago. She's off at university. Dad believed him enough to go call the university. And the day prior, she'd been killed in an automobile accident. And they couldn't reach him because he was at the bedside of his child in the hospital, again, before cell phones. But Eddie was able to say, she's in heaven. Family will be in heaven. There's going to be a great reunion in heaven. I think there's going to be welcoming parties in heaven. Come in to the kingdom. It's so good. We went to church together. We love each other. We're fist bumping each other. Now, there won't be marriage in heaven. Do you know that? Jesus talks about this. There won't be marriage in heaven. It says in Matthew 22:30, at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. And we may be surprised by this, but the one flesh marital union that we know on earth is a signpost pointing to the union between the bride and Christ. You say a signpost, like a billboard, like you're driving down I-10 and you see Buc-ee's 100 miles away, clean restrooms, Buc-ee's, come get your sausage on a stick, wrapped with a tortilla. Next, they just have signpost after signpost, Buc-ee's, come get your brisket. Like, let's go to Buc-ee's. But when you get to Buc-ee's, guess what's not there? A billboard talking about Buc-ee's because you're at Buc-ee's, right? Marriage is our testimony of Christ and the church. It's the most intimate union God could give us about what the kingdom is really going to be like, this to be known and to know fully. So marriage won't be in heaven. But here's the deal. If you can't find me in heaven, you want to come hang out with me? You'll find me at Julie Patterson's mansion because I'm still going to be hanging out with her, even if I don't get to be her husband in heaven, because I think she's amazing. All right. Number 5, and I'm done. Everlasting joy and gladness. What will heaven be like? Everlasting joy and gladness. I'm looking at the clock. It says 12:03, but y'all did give it to me late. So I'm going to just keep to my time here because Tim went so long on these amazing baptisms. I'm almost done, y'all. What will heaven be like? Everlasting joy and gladness, okay? Why? Because of God's presence. It's where God is. Notice Revelation 21:3, and I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. Psalm 16:11 speaks of being in God's presence, and what do we find? It says, you make known to me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. this new heaven, this new earth, this beautiful city that paves its streets with gold, like we pave our streets with concrete and asphalt, it will be filled with the presence of God. It won't even need the sun to shine because the glory of God will give it its light. There will be no night, no need for naps, although I'll ask God about that when I get to heaven because I'm going to like my naps, you know what I'm saying? But in his presence is full joy. It's going to be good. Notice how the ancient prophet Isaiah spoke of this in Isaiah 65. He says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. And the former things shall not be remembered or come into mind, but be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem to be a joy and her people to be a gladness." It's going to be unspeakable joy, full of glory. You and I, it's going to be the best. It's going to be the best. We're going to be tailgating with Jesus because we've won and celebrating a championship for all eternity because he's won. He's the victor. We get this eternal state. We've ruled, we've reigned with him. Satan has been defeated. He's in the lake of fire. I mean, guys, we win and it's amazing. Eternal joy and gladness.